Hello everyone, welcome back to MEP Basics. In this video, we're going to learn how to do this. Let's get started. Alright guys, welcome back to MEP Basics. Now, before we go ahead to place any light and fixtures, let's just start with setting up the drawing. And I have made a video about that long ago, and you can find a link here to follow up. First of all, we need to select our template, and you can see that this is the template that I'm using, the AEC model metric CTB.DWT. That's the template that I'm using. Okay guys, so now that our template is open, you see the name over here. I'm going to change this, and I'm going to do save as lighting plan. I'm going to add 1 because I have a file named like that already. So lighting plan 1, and I'll save that. Okay. The next thing we have to do is to make sure that we attach the architectural model as an external reference. Again, there's a video on how to do this in detail, so you can go back to go and watch that video. So I'm going to type XR, enter. Okay, and this should open the external reference palette. What I'll do is to just come to this place, look at the drop down, and then select DWG, attach DWG. Now, what is going to happen is that I'll go to the project directory, okay, and then look for my external reference. This is the architectural model, and I have saved it as XREF, but this is the house. So I'm going to select the XREF, okay, and this should open this dialog box over here. The name is XREF. Make sure the path is relative, and then you attach it as an overlay, not attachment. I'm going to make a separate video to explain how these two works, but for now, choose overlay. All right, so this is our model. All right, and you can see that it doesn't have the names of the spaces, and this is something we can turn on because I just turned it off, but I'll do that. Let me just so these are the rooms. There's a bedroom here. There's a bedroom number 2. There's a corridor. This is a kitchen. This is the WC. This is the living area. And this is a porch. I didn't label that. So I'll go ahead and then turn off the layer again. All right. I'm going to freeze the layer and then leave the rooms. So that's our architectural model. And this is where we are going to build our lighting design. So let's get started. I'm going to freeze the names again. Okay. The room names, I'm going to freeze it again. I just need space to, do my design. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to check out the units. So we want to make sure we're working in metric. That's very important. So type unit, enter, and it's in millimeters. So we are in the metric unit system. Next thing I'm going to do is to set some guidelines. I don't want to bore you with this, but this will basically, I may rush through this. All right, guys. So after setting up the guidelines, this is just something that I basically want to do to help me, get right placement for what I want to do. So I'm going to come to the lighter, open the tools palette. Okay. If you're not seeing the tool palette here, you can come to this place and then come to tools. It should open the tool palette for you. Okay. All right, so after doing that, I'll come to the tools palette. I'm going to select one lighting fixture like this. Okay, just like I'm about to place the fixture, and I'll come to the properties palette. Don't click anywhere. Once you click, you select one of the lighting fixtures. I'll come to properties. Okay, and over here you see a wide window over here of some of the things that you can change so far as the properties of the lighting fixture is concerned. So that's very important. Now what I want to do is that I don't want a pendant light, so I want to go into the style browser and make sure that I'll pick the lighting fixture that I want. So I'm going to click on this image right here, and it's going to open the style browser over here. I like to keep my style browser right here. Okay, so what I'm going to type here, I'm going to search downlight. Okay, and this will give me a lot of downlight over here. Later we are going to define whether it is recessed or surface mounted, but for now I'm going to do with what? Downlight. So for a bedroom, let's say I want to use this type of lighting fixture in the bedroom. Okay, so you double click, you come to this place, and this is the reason why I place the guidelines. Okay, so I put this here. All right, I'm going to put the same thing in the bedroom. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select these two because they have same room properties, room sizes. I'm going to select this, copy from center. Okay, and then I'll place that one right. Sorry, I'll place it right here in the center of this room, and that should be it for me. Okay, now let's come to the porch. I'm going to choose a different lighting fixture for the porch, say this one. Okay, so I want to find the center point and then put it right here. Okay, all right, so the next thing we're going to do is I'll go to the living area. Okay, the living area, I want to put maybe some two lights, just as what I put in the bedroom. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here, also two lights, or maybe I'll do this way because the TV will be somewhere over here, so I don't want the light to reflect on the TV, so I'm going to put them this way and then remove this. Okay, so I think I can remove these lines from here. Okay, yes, sorry about that. So that is that for the living area. Okay, so I'm going to go to the kitchen. This is the kitchen. When I finish, I'm going to unfreeze the space layer so that you know what we put in every space. Okay, so I'm going to go to the kitchen. The kitchen also, I want to use the different lights, maybe a different down light. So I'll choose this particular light, put one here, put one here. You don't just do that. There is standards to what light and what lighting levels you should use in every space, and I've made a video about that. So you need to check out how you can calculate what number of lighting is needed in a space. This one I'm showing you how to do it, so you have to go through that before you can come here to place lighting. Very important. So I'll come to the corridor next, and I'll put the same lighting that I used in the kitchen, one of them over here. Okay, I'll place this right here, and I'll use the same lighting fixture for the washroom. Okay, or let's just say that that's a wet area, so we want to use a different type of lighting that we're going to define later. So I'll go with this round light for the washroom. Okay, yes, so that is that. At this point, we've been able to place all our lighting fixtures, and the next thing we have to do is to look at maybe ventilation. Okay, even though this is typically supposed to be part of the HVAC system, but I'll deal with it here when we get to the HVAC system too. I'll address that issue. Okay, so let's put some ceiling fans in the room. So I'm going to look for fan light. Sorry, fan. Okay, I'm looking for fan. So I'll choose this type of fan. This is the ceiling fan that has a chandelier under it. So I'm going to choose this fan. Okay, and I'll put this here. I'll exit and then move it to the center. Okay, so I'll select the middle and move it to the center. What am I going to do? I'm going to add selected. Okay, or because I want to paste it at the center, I'm going to copy it rather. Copy and then paste this in the bedroom. Okay, second bedroom. Make sure it is in the middle. Okay, I'm going to copy this again. Home, copy. All right, and I'll come to the living area and I'll put this fan over here. For now, these are the only places that I need to put these fixtures. Okay, so this is the end of how we can place our lighting systems. Now, one important thing that I want you to understand is that if you are lucky enough to get a building that is modeled in 3D, then it's important you specify the elevation of the lighting fixtures. This is very important. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use a 2.8 meter elevation for all the lighting fixtures. Okay, so I'll delete all my guidelines that because they are all placed somewhere, I'm going to select this light. We are not sure of the elevation, so if I select this light and I come to properties, you see the elevation is 0. What this means is that the light is on the floor. 0 elevation is on the floor, and that's not what in reality our lighting fixture should be up there. So let's say that after ceiling works and everything, the final ceiling surface is 2.8 meters. So I can change this, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you to see. Now let's visualize this in 3D. If you visualize this in 3D, let's go to conceptual. You see that this is the height of the building, but there are no lighting fixtures over here. Okay, and you see the lighting fixtures and then the ceiling fans on the floor. All right, that's not what we want. So I'll go back to the 2D wireframe. Okay, I'll go back to the 2D wireframe, and then we're going to change the elevation of all the lighting fixtures. So I'm going to select one, do select similar. Because they are all at 0 elevation, I can even choose to select everything. Okay, and change all of them at a go. Okay, that one will work, but this will not work for when you have different elevations. Okay, if you have different elevations, don't do it. Make sure you select them one after the other. Okay, and do it. And the best way to do this is to do it from start. So the time we selected our lighting fixture, that was the point we were supposed to, specify the elevation. So I'll just come to the properties, and you see that the elevation, all of them is 0. So I'll set this to 2,800. That's 2.8 meters. Okay. Now let's visualize this in 3D again to see how it's going to look like. Now, let me just exactly, you see the lighting fixtures are now elevated. You understand? They are the height that we want. Okay, including the ceiling fan. So that's that. All right, guys, this is the end of the first video. In the next video, we're going to learn how to add switches to control the lighting fixtures, and then how we can add speed controls to control the ceiling fans that we have added. If this video has helped you, subscribe, share with others, and I'll see you in the next video.